Alright, so tonight we're going to be playing some Jeskai Tempo. So, this list is a little bit unique in that it's playing Archangel Avacyn in the main. Beyond that, there isn't a huge difference in a lot of the Tempo decks that have been running around. I mean, you got Bolt, Helix, Path to Exile, Serum Visions, Snapcaster Mage, Spell Queller. Some of the decks have been running Geist in the main instead. This particular build runs Geist in the side, so everything except for Snapcaster, except for Serum Visions is is at instant speed, so you don't have to tap out on your turn. Beyond that, I mean, you've got the Vendilion Click, the Spell Quellers, the Celestial Colonnades, 24 lands. So is land. Some lands I actually like in here. Alright, we'll do the Bucket Islands tonight. Plains. And the mountain. So this is more of a tempo than a true control deck, so something to keep out for. Sideboard broke it down into Graveyard Hate, additional counter spells, sweepers, and then additional creatures. So you've got Rest in Peace and Grafdigger's Cage for decks that are relying much more on the graveyard where you can board out your snaps, things like the Hollowed One decks that have been popping around, Dredge, and Goroyo's Vengeance decks. Negates and Disdainful Strokes for situations where you need Disdainful Strokes, such as against E-Tron, and Escape Shift, Negates, bring in against anything with a lot of non-creature spells. A little bit of a unique feature is the move away from Supreme Verdict or Wrath of God for Dusk Dawn. So Dusk Dawn plays well with Snapcaster Mage, Spell Queller, and Geist of St. Traft. And if your opponent's packing things like Tarmogoyf of Shadows or Eldrazi, it kills their stuff. And interesting enough, in the late game, might be some consideration to board this in against even control decks because, well, paying 4 mana to do nothing kind of sucks. Paying 5 mana to get all your Snapcasters and Spell Quellers and your Geists back might be worthwhile. You have a Chandra. I'm presuming mainly this is to be a sweeper, and you can bring it in against other control decks. Geist of St. Traft, when you need a faster clock against combo, or against something like Burn, where Spell Queller is absolute garbage. Is it Statcaster for decks with a bunch of small creatures, like Collected Company decks, Affinity, etc. Pia Cure Noir, I'm just guessing this is for more attrition matchups. So, we're going to go ahead and give this a run through in leagues and see what happens. Hopefully, if there's time, we will get to some red-white approach tonight, but it is already being play-tested by one of the bigger streamers, so I figure I would run this deck and see what happens. With the next major event I'll be in will be SCG Columbus in January, so it's worth testing. Some ways it feels like a burn deck, in other ways. So the counter spells are a little unique. You've got a couple mana leaks and then 4 cryptics and then the Quellers. So the deck doesn't play like Logic Knot or any of that stuff, so alright. Wish our opponent good luck. Guess I'd like to play first. Alright, hand's a little land heavy, but I think we'll go ahead and keep it. Opponent mulliganing a 6, keeps their hand. We've got a lot of spells to pair with a Snapcaster Mage, so I think we lead on Flooded Strand. Pass. Okay, opponent leads on Forest, and oh joy. So any type of Utopia Sprawl deck is always concerning. Because this could be Blood Moon, it could be... I'm just going to pass with Flooded Strand and pass. I don't want to give them any targets to blow up if they're Ponza. They try to land a Blood Moon here. We're just going to go and get... Looks like a Blood Moon to me. So we go and get an island and a plains here. Plains. Get an island. The Blood Moon resolve. So... Play out the island and pass. It's possible we should have just played Snapcaster Mage there. This Cryptic Command's going to be kind of a la-di-da. Sure. I'll just run out the Snapcaster Mage, get a clock down. Okay, a Braid doesn't really do a ton here. Especially without any mana creatures, really doesn't do a ton. We really need to draw our third island, but the odds of that are pretty small. Really do truly hate Ponza sometimes. So 3, 4, 5 mana. They have Bolt, they have Bolt. There's not much we can do about that. Looks like they don't, so good to continue to clock them. There is some consideration to pathing our Snapcaster Mage to get our third white source, get our third blue source. Guess that is one pseudo way to play around what the opponent's got going on over there. Don't care about that guy. Don't care about that either. So I think we go ahead, Braid the Elf. Still holding on to the path. Is there any reason to play this out? Not untapped anyway. Alright, so hopefully our opponent doesn't have like freaking Inferno Titan here. Because that would be very unfortunate. Of course that's the card they have. So we go ahead, let this resolve. Presume. Yep, they're going to take Queller here. So let that trigger resolve. Go ahead and quell this. So now we need to draw like a bolt. So I have to path this, which is not great. So now we have no defense except for Spell Snare this turn. So here's hoping they don't have another Inferno Titan. Target permanent on top of its owner's library. Search creature. Okay, sure. Alright, so alright. Geist of Saint Traft. Disdainful Stroke. Negates. The question is, do we want these Quellers in the deck, particularly on the draw? So Braid's kind of nonsense. Some number of these Cryptics feel like nonsense. Simply because I don't know that we'll ever get to cast them. Spell Snare, they don't have that many 2-drops, so I think Spell Snares can go. And then what other cards would we want? Some consideration for Dusk Dawn. Something like that. No, this feels a little loose. Get like a couple Quellers in here, shave one Geist. Kind of split the difference. Because if they land Blood Moon, the chances of us casting Cryptic Command, oh dear. So, normally I'd be fine with this hand, but against this deck, I think it's a mulligan. And this one's a mulligan. Sure. Put Dust Dawn to the bottom. Of course, they always have Utopia Sprawl, never the vulnerable Mana Dork. Alright, so lead on this. Play out Serum Visions. Mana Leak, Lightning Bolt. Well, I think we bottom bolts and top Serum Visions. And hope whatever they play this turn isn't too devastating. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why I hate Ponza. Bottom, top, and pass. This is an Acid Moss. We're going to the next game. Okay, nope. It's a Mana Dork. And another land destruction spell? Yeah. Not interested in playing this game anymore. Alright. Spell Snare still hit nothing. Cage does nothing. Rest in Peace. The Braid does nothing. Split on Geist and Spell Quellers. Maybe it's just supposed to be Avacyn because we don't think we're ever going to get to 5 mana. And bring the Queller back in. And Vendilion Click because they're kind of a resilient deck. Just make us into a Geist center deck. Guess I'd like to play first. Guess we'll keep. There's only so many counter spells we have, so. And the odds of a Ponza player keeping 3 7-card hands, all with Utopia Sprawl, are very low. So our opponent is drawing exceptionally well. I think I lead on Scalding Tarn here and pass. And prepare to hate my life. Blood Moon. Which means we'll have access to no white mana in the short term. Sure. What's up, 4? Have I ever mentioned I hate Ponza? Well, at least Colony doesn't come into play tapped. Yeah, no. No. I mean, I've played it before and I still hate the deck. Like, I barely squeaked out game 1, and then game 2 on the play, they just absolutely hammered me home. Stormbarf. Snapcaster Mage. Targeting Disdainful Stroke. Disdainful Stroke, oh shit. Geist of St. Trath that I can't cast. So basically I have 3 cards I can't cast. Sure, Arbor Elf, whatever. Another Blood Moon, sure. Well, I mean, I've been able to answer their first 2 bombs so far, but hopefully Serum Visions will get us somewhere. Bottom? Guess I can Snapcaster Bolt, increase my clock. Okay, they're shocking themselves. This probably means Inferno Titan. Yeah. So, pretty much drawing dead. Snapcaster Mage, targeting Bolt. Maybe I should save this. Don't think we're winning this race, but Mana Leak, sure. And pretty much game here. I mean, we have a couple more draws to hit a white source, but we only have one in our deck, so. Plus they have fire breathing to boot. Nope, no fire breathing. I'm going to turn one turn clock anyway, so. No. Mana Leak. Yeah. Yes, I did. Yeah, I think that's lunch tomorrow. Ha ha. Be right back. I work at 1. There's 3 sauerkraut and 2 chili dogs. Well, they've already been warmed up once. Alright, I'm back. Now that we're done fighting Ponza with Ponza. Ponza is one of those decks that it's a thing, and the fact that our opponent literally had. Now, to be fair, it's probably not a great matchup for Jeskai. Especially since a lot of our cards just don't match up against what they're doing. Our mana base is fragile. I mean, they literally had Utopia Sprawl into 3-drop either Blood Moon or Stone Rain each game, so. And I don't think they mulligan once, so. They might have mulligan like once game 1 to like 6, but they still had Utopia Sprawl into 3-drop each game, and that's admittedly pretty brutal for most decks to deal with. Especially since they're not exposing themselves to things like bolts on their mana idiots or any of that nonsense. So they're really, I don't know. That was one of their better draws. I'll grant them that much. Now, we still may have been behind in the matchup because, landing Blood Moon keeps us from using Cryptic Command, which is our main counterspell in the late game, especially against something like Inferno Titan. So, alright, so sand seems fine. We'll find red mana eventually, so I think we lead on Colonnade. So allow us to cantrip twice. Oh dear. Okay. So we're in a pseudo mirror match. Not interested in Bolt. I am interested in Snapcaster Mage. I need to play this as quickly as possible. Don't think I want a second Snapcaster Mage right now. I think I do want another Serum Visions, so we're at risk of missing a land drop next turn, but Serum Visions has a decent chance of setting us up. So, guess we'll see what version of stuff our opponent is on. Guess we won't. Alright, Serum Visions. Tap. And we miss a land drop, so we may very well lose the match now. Not lose the match, lose the game. Alright, so it literally is a mirror match. I think we just pass. No reason to tip our hand on anything. Our opponent taps mana here. We'll let Queller resolve and then Helix it. Yeah, we want the third blue, so we'll get that. Never have understood, especially since our opponent's up on mana, why they're making the first move. But maybe they'll have Geist here to punish us. Yep, of course. So it was bait. Am I supposed to snap Serum here, or just try to Vendilion click them? I think I'm supposed to snap Serum. So it's not exactly a mirror match. We're up against the Geist version in the main deck. So, Mana Leak. How good is Mana Leak? I don't think Mana Leak's where we want to be right now. Alright, and pass. They have a Bolt, so we're really in some trouble here. Trigger. Yep. Geist seems to be the real prize here. Excuse me. Guess we'll pass. What are we supposed to do if anything? Sure. Try to run out Snap here. So probably like a Spell Queller or something. See if we can resolve a Vendilion now. Probably not. Alright, target our opponent. Sure, they're sitting on removal spell or something. Of course. This went about as poorly as it could have. Helix and Cryptic. 6. Let's go ahead and go to the next game. So, their Queller was bait, but I did miss a land drop to be fair, so we were behind. What cards do we want in the mirror match? Probably want the negates. Vendillion's kind of eh. A braid is kind of eh. Probably want the Geists. 3 cuts to make. So, how many paths do we want to leave in for Colonnade? Maybe 2? And do we want PN Kieran, or is tapping out on 4 just not where you want to be in this matchup? I suspect tapping out on 4 is not where you want to be. So, what's the last cut then? Maybe one of the Quellers, since they don't line up great against all the bolts and removal. Guess I'd like to play first. Sure. Either on that tapped. There's not too much on 1 we care about. If they have Serum Visions, they have Serum Visions. Oh, they're a more controlling version. Okay. And pass. So do I just jam Geist here? No, I think it goes too poorly if I just jam Geist. So I'll hold up Queller for this turn. Alright, Helix is a card. Go to 1 here. Ancestral Visions, that is. Okay. Why would you... Spell Snare. Likely keeping up Logic, not playing around Geist. So do another counter spell. Spell Snare of your own. Sure. Does make the burnout plan significantly less effective. So I guess we go upstairs. Hope to resolve Geist here. I guess we can play around Mana Leak, but white, that. But Logic Nod's going to get it regardless. Which is what it looks like they've got. Yep, they've been holding up Logic Knot the whole time. Delve equals 5. No. Just the way they've been playing, we figured that was the card they had, but not much we can do about it right now. So am I supposed to attack with Colonnade here? Guess I don't have a whole lot else going on, so maybe. Okay. Kind of hard to win the tempo game when they have card advantage due to Ancestral Visions. Negate. Yeah, that'll come in handy. Maybe. Mana Leak? Sure. Okay, Electrolyze. You're getting a little greedy. Nope. Here comes Snappery. Oh, we draw a bolt. We're getting there. Oh. To be fair, our opponent had Lightning Helix us like 3 times, so. What on earth is this? Electrolyze. No, thank you. Mainly don't want our opponent drawing additional cards when we can prevent it. Sure, Serum Visions is fine. Not that there's much we can do about it anyway. Top and suspend Ancestral Visions. Cool. Go ahead and pass to our opponent here. Alright, that's enough. So, Snapcaster Lightning Helix would have put us clearly out of burn range. So, alright, so we played Ponza and the mirror match with Ancestral Visions. At least we're getting a wide tour of the meta. Yeah, Saint's fine. Got Bolt, we've got Serum Visions, we've got basically everything but a counterspell and pressure. Sure, we'll keep. So, Scalding Tarn on 1. So, Lightning Bolts. I think we fetch up a Steam Vents here. Play Serum Visions. So they're either Storm or Control. Because I have a feeling if they were 1, 2, 3, 4, do we really want a 5th land? I don't think so. I'm going to top the Electrolyze though. So, still could be Storm. Still could be Jeskai Control. Okay. Or just Grixis Young Pyromancer. Funky. So I think I lead out on Colonnade and Bolt this Young Pyromancer. Been a while since I've seen a Grixis list. At least Grixis of this nature. So Liliana. This is okay, another Young Pyromancer, sure. And then some type of Bolt the Pyromancer. You have an opt here. Yep. Get a token, sure. So, I guess I'm going to lead on Colonnade here. Have the most options going forward. Get to get in for 1. Alright, so we have a Bolt. We'll just play that and pass. Because whatever Queller counters isn't going to be permanent, so as you're figuring they've got like terminates and that kind of stuff over there. Thoughtseize. Chances of this dying are very high, but I think I still have to take opportunity to cast the Queller. Try to deny my opponent the information. Okay, let the Thoughtseize go there. You have Terminate to boot. Nope, just Lightning Bolt. Okay. Figured they'd have something, but what can you do? So I guess I'll just let them Thoughtseize here instead of throwing off Bolt to the face. Which means Gurmag Angler? Question mark. Alright. Please don't. Okay, no Gurmag Angler is a good thing. Play out that. So yeah, they know everything that's going on in our hand, but not much we can do right now. Alright. I think we'll go for Electrolyze the end of turn. I'm okay with taking one more wood point hit here. Or we're just going to have to try to start by doing that and that. So red, white, blue. A braid. Go ahead and get a we have to 2-for-1 ourselves to kill this stupid Tassiger, maybe. Vendilion click. Well, I mean, let's go ahead and Vendilion main phase. See what they've got going on over there. Target you. It's a kill spell for our Vendilion. Sure. So let's see what they've got. Fatal Push. Alright, let's Bolt. And a braid. Now we're both in top deck mode and they have a Fatal Push in hand. Okay, sure. Did you hit anything worthwhile? Apparently not. Okay, so we hit a Spell Snare, which doesn't do much. Okay, we still know most of their cards. Another Spell Snare, sure. See what our opponent does here. Just thinning their deck, probably. Okie dokie. Serum Visions. Fortunately, we have to let that resolve. I would like to draw any number of things here. So this looks like old school Grixis Control, pretty much. Tassiger, Thoughtseize. Not a whole lot of counter spells. Bottom top. Okay, sure. You get one of our 2 spell snares. Okay, Lightning Helix is an okay draw. Okay, Flooded Strand, which gives us access to another white mana, so one of these turns we can start attacking with one of the colonnades to get the Fatal Push out of their hand. Sure. So how's everyone doing this evening? Hopefully better than my league is going so far. So I can't draw cantrips, meanwhile my opponent's drawing visions and divisions. Go ahead and fetch here. Get the Sacred Foundry. Okay, Path protects us from one of their Delvidiots. Okay, you know this one wasn't resolving, right? Okay. Coolagon's command. Wonderful. Bring back Helix to the face. Alright, Cryptic Command's a card. Sure. Both graveyards are starting to get pretty ridiculously large here. They are definitely old school Grixis Control. Like pre-Death Shadow Grixis Control. Delphatty? What's up, they call me Cat? Well, this is definitely a Delve idiot. Unfortunately, they may also have Cryptic Command with that mana up, so... Well, I mean... Counter target spell, draw a card. What else are we gonna do, right? Boop. You have the Cryptic. So if they Cryptic, they'll tap out here, which means we can hit them down to 3. And then we can never find a window a burn spell does it. brought this deck, so if I would drop in. Yeah, decks, I mean, the deck's fun. We've just been in a lot of, like, difficult matchup situations. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, our opponents have had some pretty decent draws. Like, our first matchup against Ponza, our opponent basically had Ponza's. So we know they have Fatal Push. There's a good chance they have Terminate too, so. We're going to have to run out Queller here at the end of turn, which actually does nothing because they have Snapcaster Mage. So do I have enough mana to... So... We're not in a good spot here in this game. See if our opponent gets greedy and snaps something. What are you trying to snap here, Bolt? Alright, I've got to go for the Queller on this. Because quelling the Snapcaster itself doesn't do much. They better not get this spell back. Do they seriously get Bolt back on top of this? Okay, good to know. Well then, I think that's game. Well, that was fun. All right, so they're more dependent upon their graveyard than we are. So I'm thinking this is a Rest in Peace matchup. Probably want the Geists. We probably board out some number of snaps because we're boarding in Rest in Peace. A Braid can go. Over in Geist variants. Yeah, I just thought I would try this particular version because, well, this isn't my list. This is a list that top-aided one of the SCG regionals lists. Played around with Dust Dawn and Geist in the sideboard. So I have no idea. Like I said, this isn't my list. This was card for card the list that top-aided one of the regionals. So I figured I would give it a run. Question is, what else? Probably want negates. What else am I cutting then? Oh, I agree Geist mainboard's probably better, but like I said, I was just running this list card for card. So I gotta make 3 cuts, probably 1 cryptic. I like I said, this was card for card, somebody else's list, so probably shave 1 Queller. And maybe like, yeah, all right, I'll get the helixes out of here. I did want to leave in as many answers to. So is there some consideration for a Statcaster then? No, I guess we'll just bring in a Disdainful Stroke. Because they've got... Yeah. Suppose that makes sense. Uh, 10 isn't great, but I think we keep it. Has no early interaction for Pyromancer, which is one of the problems. And they could be on Delver too. Like if they drop a Delver of Secrets here, we're in some trouble. Okay, it's just Serum Visions. Pyromancer is not going to be the easiest to answer either. Am I just supposed to run out Snapcaster Mage here, or just let this Thoughtseize resolve? I think we just let the Thoughtseize resolve. Probably take Spell Snapcaster or Disdainful Stroke. Yeah, I figured it was spicy. I honestly haven't had much luck with blue-white and blue-white X decks in leagues. So, figured I'd give Jeskai a run. I tend to have better success with like Burn or Death Shadow or I take Avacyn. Okay. Glad I didn't run out the Snapcaster. Huh. Interesting. They must have boarded out their some number of Terminates. Question, am I trying to play around something like Blood Moon from a deck like theirs? I don't think so. Alright, Serum Visions is not bad. Go ahead and fetch Island here, and then Serum Visions. Yeah, this deck has a lot of spicy cards. I'm just not sure how good it actually is. Are we interested in another Colonnade? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably not. Path to Exile, however, I am interested in. So that will allow us to have an answer to pretty much everything. Yeah, and Pyromancer is such an annoying card. I hate pathing this, but see, this is why I was concerned leaving in some number of helixes just for this particular. Well, that's admittedly annoying. Hmm. So this is leaving us a tad vulnerable to something like Tassiger. Go get an island here. Yep. Sure. See, they'd just be chaining off with the Pyromancer at this point, so bottom and bottom. Suppose that's good for us. Though they did have a bit of missequencing with their... No, I'm not blocking. Mana leak, mana leak, mana leak. Alright. It's curious that they're trading 1 damage for 2 damage here. With Snapperino. Coolagon's command, huh? No. Thank you. You have a Dispel to boot, seriously? Actually, I should have probably a Vendilion in response. Spell Snare. Yeah, I should have Vendilion in response. Terminate and Lightning Bolt. Sure. So fighting over this did absolutely no good anyway. We really need a Geist or something. So any future Snapcaster mages for them gets pretty blessedly good. Okay. The heck is this? Jace 4? No, it looks like a Delphati. Why would you tap all that mana, though? Oh, sure. Let's draw negate. Uh, uh, their last card is a Terminate. So I'm not even sure what we're hoping to draw here. Maybe Snapcaster Mage. No, we need... Alright, Cryptic Command. Question is, okay, we'll do it during their upkeep. Bounce and draw. Or sorry. Tap all creatures, draw a card. Since we know they only have a Terminate in hand right now. Alright, land, yay. Sure. Spell Snare. Great card. 4/5. I mean, we could activate Colonnade, they'll terminate. We can Spell Snare. Then we take 6, go to 1. I don't think we have any good outs in this situation. Alright, let them attack. Go ahead and use all this mana to activate. See if they're foolish and let us go to blocks. Didn't figure they would. Go ahead and snare it. Okay, so one of your cards was a mana leak. Still not sure what our out even is. Ah, those are great cards. Unfortunately, we're dead before we can use them. Yeah, you know, I hate to use the excuse that our opponents are drawing well. But so the only thing that I would say was in our control in these three matchups has been the sequence where our opponent spell quellered at the end of the turn in the Jeskai mirror, and then we killed it, and then they untapped and cast Geist. I think that's the only sequence that I've done. I mean, I'm sure there were other sequencing issues that I had. Like, I'm sure I didn't, like when my opponent fetched, I should have Vendilion clicked then to keep that, Kolaghan's command from resolving. No, I agree that I haven't drawn as well as my opponents. What I'm trying to say is there are things that I see. I can't control how my deck draws. I can't control, how Moto does the cards. I can't control what my opponent draws. I'm trying to look at from what could I have done differently with the cards that I drew. There were a couple of sequencing issues, like with that. I should have Vendilion clicked in response to the fetch land to get that Mana Leak or Spell Snare, whatever it was, out of their hand. Then the Kolaghan's command at least wouldn't have resolved, and then I would have had Disdainful Stroke in my hand for my opponent's Gurmag Angler, which would have bought us more time. So there were some sequencing issues that that did get me a little bit. Like, if you look at the overall picture of the thing, there were issues with some of my lines of play. Like, small little errors, but on Magic Online, small little errors can cost you. Like, I had a match this morning where I had a line perfect against my opponent's Blood Moon for Red-Green Breach, and then I forgot to okay, let's see. What does this hand realistically do? Snare, Avacyn. We'll keep it. I mean, we've got a lot of interaction in our deck, and we have lands, so. Guess we lead on Hallow Fountain here. I mean, it's possible I could mulligan more aggressively with this hand, but I don't know what my opponent is, so I don't know what I'm mulliganing to. I'll lead on that tapped. Because outside of Chalice on one, there's not too much I care about snaring on one. Oh, right. Upkeep stop from last game. Alright, Windswept Heath with no play on one. What does that tell us? Quite frankly, it doesn't tell us a whole lot. Yeah, I agree in the dark it's a keep, but it's like, let's see. Alright, Stomping Ground tapped. Some type of Valakut deck. No, looks like another Ponza deck. Whale flip. We need to draw a Bolt or a Helix or something here. No, 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 no. We lost the Grixis matchup pretty quickly there. That was game 2. And I think we're about to get Ponza'd out of the game. Like, if our opponent drops a Blood Moon here, we're just going to be crapping kittens. So much mana. Yeah, I don't... Courser is leading me to think that they're not Ponza. Courser is leading me to think that they might be Green-Red Devotion. So... See, I don't like this attack from our opponent. Like, if I had a Snapcaster right here, it would just be so bad for them. Alright, so... Going to fetch... Steam Vents. Yes, I know they're probably a Blood Moon deck. At this point... Alright, play out Sulphur Falls and pass. What kind of hand did they keep? Alright. There is some arguments. I probably should have played the Mountain so I could play Avacyn if they don't cast anything again. But what could our opponent possibly have? I'm dumbfounded. They didn't attack, they didn't block. Sorry, they didn't attack, they didn't... But even if they had more ramp, why aren't they playing it? Like, why didn't they play their Windswept Heath last turn? Why didn't they... Whole lot of question marks. play anything main phase? Alright, they're playing something. 4. Huntmaster. Counter target spell. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand. Do that and return. Courser, I guess. Very weird. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was either counterbalance Courser or counterbalance the Forest to return their Utopia Sprawl. So the Huntmaster gives me pause because I have seen some Ponza versions that do run Huntmaster of the Fells. So probably going to fetch here an end of turn to avoid drawing that Utopia Sprawl. And we'll see if they cast. Question is, do I just let Courser resolve and then path it? Yeah, I think I'll let Courser resolve. I'm not worried about Courser. They get a land, they get a land. Cool. So I think see if they go to play anything else here. Okay. Chandra. Snapcaster Mage. Cryptic Command. Alright, give me a priority, please. Counter draw this time. Alright, counter draw. Another cryptic, pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. So I think during the draw step we're supposed to path this Courser. And then it's possible I should be pathing it main phase too. Decision time. Do I path this, get in for... Yeah, I think I'm supposed to path it and start getting in for some damage. We now look like we have enough counters to hold off most of their big stuff. Because at some point they're just going to have a bunch of nonsense. And then if they have any more big... If they don't have any more big bombs, we can drop Avacyn. And if they do, then we can just counterbalance Snapcaster. And if they have Bolt, they have Bolt. Yeah, I think I have to let that Bolt resolve. As much as I want to Avacyn here, I can't afford for them to land something big and dumb. And they are running out of resources. We do have their next 2 big spells covered. Snap eating a bolt. Yeah, I agree. Snap eating the bolt was perfectly fine. I just would have loved to have been able to get it back with Cryptic Command. But if they have bolt, there's no way we could have prevented that particular exchange from happening anyway. I agree. For once, we're actually in control of the game. I mean, there is a chance we could run out of spells, but if we untap with it, if they don't have anything here, we get to untap with Avacyn. Please don't cast anything I care about. All right. Tapping a lot of mana now. Target, search your library for a creature, reveal it, put it into your hand. Start by casting Bolt. So, counter target. Okay, counter target spell. Turn target permanent to its owner's hand. Counter that. Return that. So, the reason we're doing this is in case they have another big play in hand, they can't do anything. Alright, I'm tapped out now. What you got, opponent? No, one of your cards in hand's the forest I just returned. May not matter. If they've got like Blood Moon, we are so screwed. Another elf? Yeah, that was the idea. It's kind of hard to say what else they have. We know they have the forest. So one of their 2 cards in hand is a forest. Need to draw like a snap or something. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just play out Sacred Foundry. I wouldn't say clearly doesn't have it, but still something to play around if we can. All right. What you got? Well, I mean, counter target spell, draw a card. Undo. Undo. Okay, blue. Oh, I agree. Okay, Mana Leak sort of covers us for now. Covers us against some of their things, not against others. Mana Leak's not ideal. Yeah, probably true. Alright, so... I'm guessing card in hand is something like... It's either another bomb or just a land or a bolt. So... Nope, not a bolt. So now... Trigger... Get Steam Vents... Probably should be trying to play around Blood Moon now, but at this point I think I've got to try to close out the game. Alright, so we draw our planes. Alright, this... Need one blue... Oh, what's up, Iron Man? A little late to the party. Watch me get knocked around by 10,000 control mirrors and Ponza having the nut draw. Okay. Yeah, you've got a tireless tracker. Not a bloody thing I can do about it. Birds. Sure. Since you're the one, okay, you're the one sitting here telling me modern sucks, yet you're working on building more modern decks than I have in paper. Can you explain this one to me? Alright, so... Blue... Blue... Type of decks you're looking into in the meta. He's more of a true control player at heart gamer. So he's probably wanting something like... wow, they're not blocking. That's pretty ballsy. So I guess we path your bird and then you're dead. So they draw a Blood Moon on the turn that it no longer matters. Yeah, I know you have nothing. Well, you have Game of Thrones, you have True Gambling, you have any number of things really. All right, so Which cards do we want? What cards do we not want? A Braid can go out. We want the negates. We want the Disdainful Stroke. Geist is dicey on the draw. Probably want Staticaster. So this looks like it was the creature-based Ponza deck. So I might be wrong. It might just be Green-Red Devotion, but it looked like the creature-based Ponza deck. So I have to be very careful how I try to play around Blood Moon and their land destruction spells, which they don't have as many as traditional like spell-based Ponza, but they're still a handful. Cage does nothing. They don't cast anything from their graveyard or deck. They search it, but they don't cast from it. Creature cards can't enter the battlefield from graveyards. Players can't spells from graveyards or libraries. I draw last month. I was playing with Drowsytron. Ponza didn't let me have a land. Yeah, that's what happened to me in... No, it does not stop either one of them. Does not stop either one of them. So... cut one Cryptic. I do need some way to close the game. Maybe Statcaster is just too cute. Try it like that. No, because it's only specifically creatures. Does not stop lands. Oh, la 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 la. This hand is dangerous, but I think we got to keep it. Yep, Utopia Sprawl means we're pretty much SOL this game. Lead on Colonnade, pass. Turn 2 Blood Moon's going to kind of nail us here. Especially since our opponent snap kept. This is why I hate Ponza. Yep, Blood Moon. It's a Blood Moon. I hate my life. See, I thought they were supposed to do away with this paying 2 life nonsense. Yep, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I figure they're definitely Ponza. They're just the creature-based version, which I've actually played before. Yeah, I thought they were supposed to. Alright, I mean... I've got 3 mountains, what else am I gonna do? I mean, if our opponent draws nothing but mana, maybe we'll have a chance. Another Blood Moon? Birds. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we might be on our way to... Of course not! Of course not! Why would it play any of the cards that stop Blood Moon? Yeah. I'm done playing this game. Nope. The list I took, card for card, literally does not play any anti-Blood Moon hate in the deck at all. It plays a Braid, and that is it. This guy was obviously, the pilot of this deck was gearing to beat Eldrazi-tron. He was not gearing to beat Blood Moon. So, probably Geist on the play. I get. I don't know. We're playing in the friendly leagues, so to be fair, if he managed to dodge Blood Moon decks for the first couple rounds, chances are he wouldn't have played against very many of them. So there is that. Need to make one trim. Maybe one Path to Exile? See, this is a deck that probably does better in the winner's bracket than the open meta. Hey, we'll keep it. You know, why would I actually want to play Magic? A couple Serum Visions. See, there's no more sickening feeling in the world than playing against a Ponza deck. Total of 6 games, and they didn't mulligan once. So, Spell Queller, Sacred Foundry. OIM, but that doesn't save us on the... Actually, I probably should have bought them both of those. Because there's a decent chance... Well, I have the choice to fetch away the Sacred Foundry. So that one isn't quite as... Please don't have Utopia Sprawl. Of course, it's always Utopia Sprawl. So, I can bluff, but they're going to cast whatever anyway, so I may as well just Colonnade. But bottoming both of those, because in the event our opponent has Blood Moon, we don't want... No, I should have boarded out. I should have boarded out the Spell Snares. Sure. I got nothing. Hmm. No, it's not GG quite yet. I have one last look. If I can find a plains here, I might have a chance. But beyond that... I mean, what am I moving on to? The 05 bracket? Been a while since I've rolled the dice on an old 05. Man, I am a sadist today. I am an absolute sadist today. So, I hope you all are enjoying the profound... It's been a miserable league. Ironically, there haven't been that many mistakes. It's just been miserable. Like round 1, I played Ponza. They had Utopia Sprawl in the 3-drop every game. Round 2, I played against the Jeskai Mirror. They had Geist and Ancestral Visions main, so I lost to Geist game 1, Ancestral Visions game 2. Lost to Grixis by outgrinding me. Control. Yeah. But if this weren't... The funny part is, if this weren't a friendly league, I'd probably be playing against decks that are better matchups for this deck. So... That's the ironic part. Like, this is a deck that... I got a mulligan. I can't keep a 1-lander. Sure, we'll keep. I'll keep Cryptic Command on top, why not? The only reason I tried this list was... This is a very Eldrazi Tron focused build of Jeskai. So... Do I want the Vendilion? I don't... I'll top both with the option to fetch away the Vendilion. Because I probably want... oh dear. I get to play against Infect. I get to play against Infect to wrap this all up. So if I can't beat Infect, I get to call it a night, right? Okay. So... If we look at... Do I want the Vendilion or not? I don't think so. Yeah, we'll keep the Vendilion as an out to being able to check their hand. See, okay. Jeskai is good against creature-based decks. So, if you go down the breakdown of the format, Storm, I mean, I think Click was fine. The problem is we're going to need more lands to win this game. So, So we're going to click at end of turn. Take our infect here. I was at least able to keep Blink Moth off the table, which was a positive. Alright, let's get ourselves the only Sacred Foundry in the list. Dillion, click. See what you got over there, opponent. Probably just like a bunch of freaking pump spells. Vines, Might, and Blossoming Defense. I think we take the Vines or Blossoming Defense. I think Vines. I think we take Blossoming Defense. Okay, Queller's not bad here. Could use more mana, but Queller's not bad. Yeah, I'm aware. Oh, and he has Pendelhaven to boot. Okay, well, this is going to be a very, very miserable experience. Alright, so he has Vines in hand. So I'm going to go ahead and let this resolve. Yeah, that's the plan. I don't think he's going to fight over that, but Lord only knows. Yeah, I haven't got around to trying Storm yet. Might have to try the tier decks after getting blasted to Kingdom Come by this and Red-Green Breach. Well, there's the last blue source. Oh, gotta love this deck. So now they're going to have to use a pump spell to get through Queller. Actually, no, I guess they won't. So it'll become a 2/3. So I can either quell or... Alright. Something main phase. Interesting. Apostle's Blessing. Sure. Oh, protection from white. Wonderful. Hmm. Okay. So we still know 2 of the 3 cards in hand are Might of Old Krosa and... This is rough, especially for a Blighted Agent. Why did it have to be Blighted Agent? Sure. I should have countered that. Absolutely should have countered that. Counter target spell. Doop, doop. That was the plan. Alright, well, I mean... Get in for 4 here. Alright, no sense in attacking right now. So they are flooding pretty hard here. Thanks everyone for tuning in to my 04ness. And okay. And it looks like they're just going to... I think I'm supposed to fire this off upstairs just to... So I'm going to attack with one Queller here. They want to pick a fight this turn. Snapcaster Mage. Maybe if they're going to burn a protection spell, it's going to be under my terms of engagement, not theirs. Okay, they don't have it. Cool. Now we might actually win this one. Okay, they failed to find a land. Are they conceding? Nope. And they can't fetch or they're just dead on board. Alright. Whew! So I guess this is the matchup for P and Kieran. Probably want the negates. What cards do we not want? Cryptic Command is a little sketch. Snare hits Blighted Agent, which I think is enough of a reason to leave it in. Is Avacyn too cute? Okay, we want the Statcaster. Is Avacyn too cute? I think so, because her ability isn't terribly relevant. Yeah, definitely Statcaster. Just trying to think what the last cut might be. Maybe it's one of the Quellers? I mean, we need some way to close out the game. And they do block Inkmoth. Past that, Bolts, Helixes. I guess it's either another Cryptic Command or like one of these Helixes or an Abrade. Maybe it's just the Abrade. Yeah, I can see cutting Mana Leak. I'm just thinking I want all... Oh, dear. No lander. One lander. That said, I think we keep this one lander. And... Hey, we'll keep an island. We'll keep an island. Please don't have turn 1 Glistener Elf. Of course you have turn 1 Glistener Elf. I think I'm just supposed to play Island Pass. Ugh. Alright, negates a card. This is one of those hands where we could easily get run over. Especially since our opponent seems to have all the mana they need. Okay. Okay, we're taking 3 poison. Go get a Sacred Foundry here. Attempt to path the Ink Moth. Blossoming Defensor Vines. Looking like they might have multiple choices here. Apostle's Blessing. Ironically, that's the worst one they can have. Now we're stuck on mana, and that may be what kills us. The last card's Spell Pierce? Seriously? Okay. Here's hoping we hit a land. Ding! Hope you don't have Mutagenic Growth as your last card. That's amazing. Dryad Arbor Beats! to be... Okay, as far as why Elf over Ink Moth, they control when... Ink Moth, they control when rules of engagement are to be had. You have Dismember. Okay, I'm not blocking here on the off chance, well, on a pretty good chance you have a pump spell. But it all comes down to being able to block, pretty much. It all comes down to blocking, pretty much. Because your role in this matchup is you are the control deck. If they control the rules of engagement, you can lose due to mana efficiency. When they have Ink Moth, they choose when to engage in combat. Is the reason, Snuffy. Helix the face. Yes. When they control the rules of engagement, you're in trouble, pretty much. So the thing with Infect is you keep them from having the rules of engagement. Shaper's Sanctuary. No, thank you. So our opponent have Dismember here. Is that what they're considering? Well, we got 20 of our entry fee back. So, okay. So Jeskai, this particular version of Jeskai, was heavily slanted towards, if you saw, was it Brian DeMars' breakdown on the winners bracket of, yeah, before did the old 5. Woo! So here's what happened. First off, we played in the Friendly League. Friendly Leagues are a much wider open version of the meta. So you're going to see decks that aren't going to see as much play at the competitive level. So decks like Eldrazi Tron, decks like Death Shadow, decks like Collected Company, Affinity, Storm. You're going to see those decks a lot less frequently in the Friendly Leagues. You're going to see a lot wider open, like you would in an F&M, like you would at the beginning levels of a GP or something. So, alright. Thanks, gamer. It was great talking to you. hopefully catch you again sometime. Anyways, long story short, this deck is severely slanted towards what you would call the winners bracket. Grixis Death Shadow, Eldrazi Tron, Storm, Affinity, Collected Company. To a certain extent, Titan Shift. So this deck has a lot of cards either in the main or the sideboard that gives those deck fits. Like Dusk Dawn and Disdainful Stroke. Dusk Dawn's good against Grixis Death Shadow. It's good against Eldrazi Tron. A Braid as a one-of is good against Eldrazi Tron. It's Graveyard Hate, good against Storm. You have a lot of burn, a lot of tempo, so you're better than blue-white against Storm. So this deck is built to get past the first couple of rounds and then play in the winner's bracket. So if it can avoid unfavorable matchups for round 1 and 2 and 3, then this is a deck that's designed to prey on the creature decks, and it's built to beat the other tier 1 decks, is the best answer I can give you as to what happened. And we played against Ponza twice, Grixis Control Old School, and the Jeskai Mirror, which our opponent had Geist's main and Ancestral Vision somewhere in their 75. Geist, if it resolves, is a pain for the matchup, especially if you can have counter spells to protect it or removal spells to keep the creatures out of the way. And Ancestral Visions, we just got buried in card advantage. Same thing with Grixis. They're leaner, they have Thoughtseize, they have Kolaghan's Command, so we lost the grind out game. So I'm not saying this deck is bad, I'm just saying it's for a specific meta. This deck was built to get to the top tables and stay at the top tables. It's not as great as a more like normal build of Jeskai would be, or blue-white against a more open meta. The problem with Control in Modern is you have to pick a portion of the metagame to beat it. You can't beat everything. So this deck was built to basically smash the top tier decks, all the creature decks, and a sideboard plan for Eldrazi, Tron, and Grixis, and Storm as well. So that's the best synopsis I can give of our 1-4 slaughter. So anybody else have any comments about this educational experience? Or, as we can call it, punting. I don't know that we punted all that much. It was just, was what it was. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.